So prior to starting your current business, Life Aid, you had this bankruptcy. Um, what were you doing just before Life Aid? Was it the chiropractor business? And I think you sold that, and then some other bad things happened.
Yeah. 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 So, oh man, it was a challenging time. So I went BK, my credit was shot, lost all
Mhm.
my assets, with the exception of the property. But still had my student loans too, $250,000 there.
Oh, they don't write
Fortunately,
those off when you go
no, they
bankrupt.
don't write those off. They don't
Oh
write those off.
man.
Um, Fortunately, the practice was still doing great. Like it didn't skip a beat. So I was still able to hop right back in, generate income and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the credit to actually build a house. See, we were living in a 400 square foot RV with two children at the time, and it was supposed to be just a very short term solution because I was going
Yeah.
to, take the money from some of the spec homes and build our dream house on the top of the hill. Well, that didn't work out. So now we're in this 400 square foot RV for year 2, 3, 4, and
Damn.
year 3, I sell the practice, which again was thriving, to go all in with Life Aid. This is 2000. Let's see, I BK'd in 2009. This is 2011. Okay.
Okay, so Life Aid started as a side hustle.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
With Orion and I. Yeah. He was a certified financial planner in Santa Cruz, a sports chiropractor. We met in a CrossFit gym. And so we start as a side hustle. We both still have our full-time job. After about 6 months or so, we realized that, hey, to make this thing successful, you can't serve two masters. We're going to burn the ships at the shore. It's a really necessary, but stupid thing to do at the time because we didn't have near enough traction to take this kind of risk. But, ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Yeah.
So we both sell our practices. The guy I sell it to is just not the right guy. I mean, not at all. He doesn't have the skill set. He doesn't have the personality. Like I knew it, but I was also desperate because it was like, hey, we need to both get out of that by X date and go all in. And so I sell it to him, and within like 6 months, he goes under. I mean, the referrals stop coming in. People start scattering. They go into other places. He's just not doing a good job. He literally ran it into the ground. And
I'm assuming he's paying you out of earnings on something like
correct.
this. So you're
Yes,
carrying the paper.
This is what I'm surviving on.
Yeah.
Literally surviving on because Life Aids can't afford to pay me. And, this was it. It was like 35. It wasn't even that much. It was like $3,500 a month, but 3,500 is a lot better than zero.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were already living very frugally. Fortunately, I had the property paid pretty far down, so I didn't have a heavy mortgage burden, and I was able to defer more student loans. So he stops that, and so literally no income coming in, living in an RV. Now I'm 2 years even older than I was. Like really, we're eating macaroni and cheese and tuna multiple nights a week, which is like $1.50 meal if you're really broke out there.
Yeah.
And it was really, really thin, really, really tight. And, thank God we started to really learn marketing and getting some traction with the business. And then we're able to put ourselves on $1,000 a month salary and then 3,000, slowly grow from there. But yeah, for a good year, it was like, I didn't know I didn't know. I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I was going to figure something out. I'll do any job that I have to provide. Like I was going to go out and, dig ditches, but fortunately it was just a lesson that I needed in humility, a nice, nice lesson in humility, which we all need from time to time. And I needed it more than others.
So how long did it take to get Life Aid to $1 million in annual revenue? Were you at, and obviously, being a beverage company, $1 million in annual revenue, I don't know what your margins are, but you got cost of goods sold. You got to make the stuff, it's not like there's $1 million worth of profit.
Right. Yeah, no. And to get to $1 million, we were between years 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay.
Yep.
So not an overnight success by any stretch of anyone's imagination.
No. We were grinding and we were burning a lot of cash. It took us a year and a half to figure it out. Yeah, it took us a year and a half to figure it out. We were dog paddling, burning money, raising money, constantly in fundraising. We ran through our money that we put in to start the business, real quick. It's an expensive business, the beverage biz. And thankfully, I was big on marketing at the time, and a good friend of mine, a mentor, an investor, an advisor at Life Aid now, but just a friend and mentor at the time, Ben Altadonna, he loaned me 25 grand to join this high level marketing group. He's like, look, I think you guys will get a lot out of it. You'd learn a lot. There's a lot of connections there. He's like, I'll pay for it. Pay me back when you can.
Is that Joe Polish's group?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pay me back when you can, and no paperwork, no interest, nothing. So I was like desperate because, things were lean, and Ben's a successful guy. So I was like, all right, man, if you think it's worth it, like, let me do it. And just, joining that, being around, other people that were making big shit happen. And, there was a piece of advice that actually one of my favorite marketers, Dean Jackson, gave me in the group. And he said, it was really simple because we had 3 products at the time. We had Fit Aid and CrossFit. We had Golfer Aid. We were selling to golf courses, and we had Party Aid, which was like kind of our, festival burner type drink.
Yeah.
And they had 3 different websites. They had 3 different audiences. They had 3 different social media accounts. So basically we're running 3 different businesses, literally running 3 different businesses, because none of them are synergizing off each other. They're all totally on their own islands. And Dean said, one of his profit activators, but I didn't know the profit activators at the time. He said, you need to choose a single target market is what he said at one of the meetings after I, kind of told him the situation we were in. And we looked at the business, and even though Golf Aid was bringing in the majority of revenue at the time, the trajectory of Fit Aid in the CrossFit space, and we were very early to CrossFit. I mean, I joined a CrossFit gym in 2007. So, we were like right at the beginning, and it was growing like gangbusters. We looked at that trajectory and went all in, like, okay, I'm not doing anything except for CrossFit and Fit Aid. And that's it. And that was the key. That's when we started ringing the bell. Not once a day, sometimes twice, 3 times, 4 times a day when we're bringing on new accounts. And we got up to like 250 new gyms a month. We were opening one at a time through old school direct response marketing and snail mail.
So that was the initial focus for distribution back then, was to just get gyms to sell your product in their stores.
Yeah. Initially golf courses, but we pivoted to gyms. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And when did, what year was that?
It's about 2013.
13. Okay.
Yeah.